I grew up on a big farm in a rural community, and really I was in a one-room schoolhouse with 8 grades in it. Yep, she got the watch out. And when I came to George School, I literally brought nothing with me. What do you bring as an education from a one-room school with 32 kids and 8 grades and 1 teacher? Probably better than we thought at the time, but not what you guys from suburban schools brought, with your 8th grade dances, and your art and your music. Nothing. We had nothing of that, and we really didn't miss it. We were country kids, and we had 14 farms in our town. We have 1 left now, but kids would go home. Can you come up to the farm? We'll dig tunnels in the hay. We'll play cops and robbers. Well, I don't think so. I think I have to work. And they meant it. They're 8 years old, and they had to be there all day Saturday with their father working. And when they went home at 3 o'clock and walked in the doorway and had 3 hours of work to do before they got their supper. I was a little bit the same, a little bit different. If I was out working, it's because I loved being out there with the men and doing the stuff we did. But it didn't bring anything that translated to George School. Mm-hmm. And the result was I really brought no identity here, and my past as a farm boy wasn't particularly interesting to the folks who were here. Understandable. But so what do you do? What can you have? Well, I wrestled 106, which is the first that's the first weight class. I probably weighed 103. I was about 5'10". And I was not a successful wrestler, but I learned a lot by being with the system. And Sutton was really a terrific man. He's just an amazing person. And he was able to focus on the really quality wrestlers that were going to come on and be great, and still give you a sense that he cared about what you were doing and how you were out there on the mats with him. But that didn't translate into football. I went out for soccer, and what was his name?
Found out you had 2 left.
Talbot. John Talbot was coaching, Jack Talbot. And he discovered I was very right-handed. So he trained me to be out on the left wing, which told me I probably wasn't going to play very much, which was true. And senior year, I was rooming with Nick and John Corper. And Corper played football for 3 years, went out the 4th year. And Corper said, Rich, he says, you're not having any fun playing soccer. He said, come out for football. You're senior, it's the last chance to play football. I said, all right, I will. So I got all the equipment and went out to play football. And what I learned was it's a whole lot more fun to play football badly than it is to play soccer badly. And we had a great time. And the highlight was playing JV against Soulbury varsity, and my cousin was on the line for Soulbury. And I got into the game batting. I was playing my position as defensive end, and we had helmets just enough for each guy. So batting came out, I got the helmet, I went in and down, and my cousin looks up, and bam, there I am. And again, now I'm probably 135. And Dick Beecham actually, his father was a teacher for Lee and maybe for Jim, I'm not sure. Temple, the physician at Temple. Dick Beecham looks up. Dick probably weighed 235. He looked at his jaw dropped, and then he just blew me away, and they went around the end for a touchdown. I got to play. I got to wear the Sickalack helmet. One was issued without masks, of course. So Sickalack across the side of your face is pretty interesting. I didn't bring a high-powered academic anything to school. I didn't do particularly well here. I didn't fail anything. I just kept floating along basically on a C average. And I wrote a really, really good research paper my junior year and got a C. And I knew it was better than that, but I was too shy to go in and talk about it. And eventually, 33, I became a high school English teacher. I never, ever let that happen in my class. If I had a C student, and he wrote an in-class essay where I knew he wrote the paper, and if it was an A, it was an A. And maybe we wouldn't see very much from kids like that, but that was. I learned the Quaker thing too. A teacher has to see every student. You go into that classroom, you get 20, 22 kids, and you get 5 of those a day, you have to see every kid in that room. You have a sense of whether things are going well or going badly. You have a sense of whether you can do anything about it or not. And sometimes, even though you may not say the right words, if you say some words, the fact that you tried is as important as what you said. And I did it for 21 years. I loved it. It was high school. It was public school. It was the nuts and bolts. I had a boy go to Harvard Medical School. But when he came into my class, my compatriot said, "Oh, geez, Jimmy, he's so intimidating." He said, and he came in. He was the sweetest boy in the world. Went to Harvard, went through Harvard Medical School. I saw him at a reunion. I said, "You know what my compatriot said?" He said that they felt that with your intellect, you were really so intimidating. And I told them, I said, if I never met a kid who wasn't smarter than I was, I'd be really depressed. And he laughed. He laughed and he laughed. And he's a physician out there in the trenches right now. So to bring us through this, you can see I had nothing for the arts. I had no background in music. And I was here, and I loved being here. My older brother was here. He didn't do particularly well. I kept asking him, what did you get out of the George School? He said, "I grew up." And he was absolutely right, and that's what I did. I grew up here. I loved being here. Right from the first day I got on the campus, I loved going home to the farm. I was never homesick. It was a perfect balance of situation. Well, time went on, and I was way too shy to be sociable, to be at all aggressive in presenting myself to many of the very, very attractive girls who were all over the campus. I just didn't have the ability to do that. And a lot of it has to do with growing up. When you're on a farm, you're alone a lot. You're not socializing, and a lot of it has to do with that. And our junior year, blew in Priscilla Rogers. And Priscilla Rogers was come over from Swarthmore High, and she dated all the senior boys. They all lasted about 2 weeks at the most in their history, and they were gone. And she came back her senior year depressed, rooming with Kathy, that there was nobody to go out with. And somewhere in October, we connected on a Sadie Hawkins dance, and the rest is history from about the 20th of October of our senior year in high school. And what happened, I remember her junior year, she was out at Brown House. Here I'm sitting on the steps with Corper and probably Phil Stanley on a Sunday right after dinner. Of course, we all were in suits and ties. The girls were all in suits, stockings, high heels. This gal, Priscilla, we all knew her by then. It was spring. She goes walking by, and she's got this gorgeous brown suit, nylon blouse, stockings, high heels, walking by. She knows all. She doesn't know me, but she knows these other guys. She kind of gives us a sidelong glance, and I say to myself, there's another beautiful girl I'll never get to go out with.
You didn't know I wasn't shy.
I knew she wasn't shy. I knew I was shy.
We're here to offer you our condolences.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, I thought you meant me. In any event, what that did, she connected me to the humanity of this school. And that was the first piece of identity that I had here. And even I remember the teachers at the chaperoning the dance, their jaws literally dropped when they saw the two of us come in to the dance in the new gym, by the way. It was just commissioned our senior year that year. And they just couldn't believe it. And you should have seen Mr. Larimore when I came back with her for a reunion, and all 4 of our kids, and we trooped into Orton to say hello to Mr. Larimore, and he just stood there. He just shook his head. You really couldn't say it. Oh, very nice to meet you. All 4 kids are standing there. It was a whole element of biology there that just left Mr. Larimore totally mystified. Well, time has gone on. Yep, I know it is. And that's the point I really wanted to make here tonight, that something or someone does connect you to the humanity of your part of the society. This was our society at the time. And I don't know what it is for different people, Sometimes like Bowie Packer arriving as a freshman and being on center forward on the soccer team the moment he stepped on. Maybe that's what connected him to humanity. I don't know. I do know that typically adolescents struggle with that and try to find out who they are and where they are. If you're an athlete, man or woman, it really helps create your identity. If you're very intelligent and you're in a school that values your intellectual intelligence, that may connect you to humanity. If you're a performing artist, but sometimes it's a person. And if you're a teacher, you have no idea whether you're that person. If you go back to reunions, maybe some kids will come up. We always talk. And sometimes a little clue will drop that somehow, somewhere along the line that you were there for 23 years at that school, you were there and something about you connected to that person that connected them to something or other. But you usually don't know, and after a while you don't care because you know what you're doing and you know you're doing a valuable thing. There are two of us. We're getting older. We don't appear to have any mortal difficulties at this time. But as you get older and you're two together, you have to work as a team to take care of each other and to protect each other and make sure you have the time to go where you need to go to see the doctors
you want to do.
That's right. And this is what not only I want to do, and it's what I've been trying to do and haven't had the time to do. We always make time for our doctors, but then you take it away from the other things you're committed to. You begin to worry about whether you're doing enough here or doing enough there or doing enough of the other thing. So we're doing what you said. And we do a lot with our children. We have 7 grandchildren. We have 3 graduated from college, 1 getting married this June. So in the future, there may well be both sets of grandparents are putting all kinds of pressure on the young couple to have kids right away because you know how it is. And the kid and the grandson is having a grand time with it. So in any event, our life moves on. We've had an absolutely wonderful life together. We've been married for 57 years. We went together for 4. That's 61 years we've got together.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. I know. I'd stagger her with these facts every once in a while. All from a Sadie Hawkins dance stage.
You told me to ask him.
Yeah, she did. But what it comes down to is what connected you to humanity and when. It's a very interesting personal philosophical question. But I know a relationship connected me to the humanity of our social system here and carried on for the rest of our life.